Hello, we're going to answer part B of question 1 for unit T of the big question. Amplitude. How does the fact that sine and cosine have amplitudes of 1 and the other trig functions don't have amplitudes relate to what we know about the unit circle? Now, to answer this, we must refer back to our unit circle. As you can see, our unit circle is split into 4 quadrants, and each has at an end of each quadrant has a certain value. For example, it's 0, and it's pi over 2, then it's pi, then 3 pi over 2, and then it's 2 pi. Now, how does this relate to what we know about asymptotes? Well, asymptotes means half the distance of a period, and we get half the distance of our highest and lowest point, not our period. So as you see here, right here I have a sine graphed onto, well, trig function graphed, and as you see, our highest point is at pi over 2 and our lowest point is 3 pi over 2. Now, these values are important because we just covered them in our unit circle. Now, since this is sine, what's the sine of pi over 2? Pi over 2 is right here. Sine of pi over 2 is 1. That's 1. Now, we have 3 pi over 2. What is the sine of 3 pi over 2? 3 pi over 2 is negative 1. So, these are what give us our value of 1 for our, amplitude. Therefore, that is why our sine has an amplitude of 1. Now, our second is our cosine. Our cosine graph would look like this, and it has amplitude, it has asymptotes right here, here, and here. And these are located at 0, pi, and 2 pi. So, now how does that relate to the unit circle? Well, 0, it's the cosine of cosine of this graph would be 1. Cosine of pi of 0 would be 1, and that's 1 right there. And next we have pi, where we have another asymptote. The cosine of pi would actually be negative 1. And then we finally have a point at 2 pi. At 2 pi, the cosine of 2 pi is 1. So that's why we have an amplitude of 1 right here. So that's exactly why we have an amplitude of 1 for cosine.